where you're coming from, and what is your association with AI, and what brought you close to AI bomb project itself?
Sure, Arunish. Hi, everyone. Myself, Bakul Singhal. So first of all, thanks for having me here. I'm very much excited to be a part of the AI bomb project. Overall, myself, I have 15 years of experience. I started as a software developer, later moved into the application security. I was part of the OWASP back in 2013 to 14, one of the chapters. And then later on, I actually didn't get much chance to be a part of it, but I wanted to start again. Currently, I'm enterprise security lead, basically managing the architect engineering and operations for Steve Bannon. Like any other company, we also started with the AI enablement adoption, and with that, the AI focused for the security. So me and my team is currently looking into that. We have implemented some of the security, but obviously there's a lot to do as AI is evolving, at much faster pace. And in terms of AI bomb, like as bomb for the software development lifecycle, one of the critical aspects we are seeing internally and also talking is how do we get the visibility, like what are model inputs, what are the connectivity, the transparency is in place, and I think AI bomb is very critical in that aspect, especially the team and everybody is working upon. That's why I wanted to be a part of it, and hopefully and looking forward to contribute, collaborate, and learn with everybody here.
Oh, thank you, Bakul, on this one. And while talking about your background itself, when you talk about visibility, do you also think about real-time action? Let's say if there is a threat
Yes,
intel integration on this one, right? How quickly can organization like take action on this? Is that part of your vision, or at least is that what you
it
think?
is. It is. So a lot of time we talked about like AI. So there are two pieces of AI. One is the custom AI, or you can say first party AI. One is the third party AI. A lot of companies are working. They have like multiple tools, Zero Trust, CASB, may not be fully visible, but they are able to somewhat control and implement the security aspect. Blocking it, what is approved, what is not approved, what is sanctioned. But in terms of the custom AI, which is the first party AI, it is very challenging to know about what all aspect is the integral part of that in building it, right? So we have seen it firsthand. Like we identified in many occasions, like we believe this is part of some of the LLM models, but then again, it is also giving access to the other, which is implicit, but we were not aware of it. Then once you have a deep down, you are able to identify. So there's a lot which would SBOM, or in this case, AI bomb should provide like a framework. And that's why I believe this is very critical aspect for overall to build a framework to implement it overall and how adoption it can take place. Even for any of the, I would say, tool sets which can adopt to it and provide that kind of a guidance and governance to the companies.
Okay, got it, got it. Awesome, awesome. Okay, welcome. I see Karen also is on the call. Karen, do you want to give like a quick introduction?
Sure. Karen Bennett. I'm currently associated with ISO and IEEE. I also am co-chair with GOPI, the SPDX AI and dataset profile. And sort of my background, I've been in open source a long time. I was one of the founding members of Red Hat. So have been around the open source world and understand it. And I can see that AI bombs are sort of the next generation of how we, provide trusted quality information or code or models of data, whatever we're giving. So I'm glad to be part of this team because I think one of the missing pieces out there is a harmonized solution. And as we move forward to getting some of this standardized in more global national standards, having diverse definitions, I don't think is a good thing for the community. So that's me.
Yeah, and Karen, thank you again. And again, just for record, I mean, Karen and I are part of a different community also. So glad to have you, Karen, on this particular working group call. Next one, somebody that I just recently met in DC, Erez.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I introduced myself in the last call, but I'll go for it again.
Oh, my bad.
VP of Security Research at Checkmarks, founder of the AppSec Village at DEF CON and RSA, leading several projects in OWASP. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was my bad, right? Again, like last call that we had, I think we kind of lost at least 10 or 11 minutes of initial call that it didn't make it to the recording. But again,
Yeah.
Eras, thank you. And last but not the least, a dear friend of mine, Gopi. Gopi, you wanna give a quick introduction, maybe a minute or so?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Arunish, for pulling me in this great initiative, and thank you for leading. This is very much required from the risk perspective. AI bomb initiative is very, very important. So thanks for doing this. A little bit about me. I've been in the cybersecurity for more than 15 years. I've held positions in ISC Square, sub-president and then board for ISACA for more than 8 years. I have been very passionate about securing systems, whether it's endpoint or data security or network security or AppSec. And I also help other CISOs to do that. At present, I am head of security at Asymmetry Systems. We are providing data security for the company. And I like to be part of this and contribute in any way I can. Thank you.
Welcome, Gopi. And I think one thing that I can possibly say, we actually presented, Gopi and I did like a workshop in IAPP 2 weeks ago. And I think like AI bomb project itself or the need for that was very pronounced in that workshop by pretty much everybody in the attendance who could be from privacy or legal or technology. So, okay, let's move to the next one. So the way we actually conduct the meeting, this is the agenda. Again, we go through the introduction, then we talk about the project roadmap, some updates from the leadership, and then the most important bit is updates from different work streams. So for the newcomers itself, we have 10 work streams that we are actively working on. So every work stream lead would actually provide an update, and it would be open for discussion if anybody have any inputs on that. And the last one is pretty much on the lines of if there are any bottlenecks or roadblocks people have. It's definitely a growing project. And again, these numbers might look small, but the kind of engagement that we are getting, whether it was IPP or last week we were at OWASP Washington, DC, it's definitely getting a lot of traction on this one and more collaboration and alliances with academia. I think it's going to expedite and make these particular timelines stick right. And again, if you look at this pretty timeline, it might seem very aggressive if you have been associated with other projects or working with CISA and other organizations out there. It's definitely very aggressive, but I think the need of the hour to focus on the transparency is very, very important, especially given AI is getting adopted in organization very, very quickly. So call to action, I think from last week, we got a chance to talk about presenting OWASP AI bomb as well as the AI exchange in OWASP Washington, DC. There are more such things are in the pipeline, and only when those are finalized, I can actually share on this one, but we definitely are like getting some engagement out there. So this on the left, there's Lady Anka from Linux Foundation. She's leading a few different initiatives, so we are looking to collaborate with them very, very closely. Then there is a podcast that was recorded last week, so definitely a good place to be. Was Global AppSec, Washington, D.C. So these are like the work stream that we have. Again, not all the work streams are reflected on the slide. There are two other work streams on the next one. And I'm pretty sure people have looked at the project website, looking at the work streams that we are working on. I think this might be new for Karen and Gopi. I'm not sure if you got, and in fact, like Bakul also, have you gone through the project website and looked at the roadmap and the vision?
This is Karen. Yes, I did.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Nish, this is Bakul. Some of it I would say, but obviously as we go through, hoping to learn more.
Okay. And in fact, in addition to the project website, we also record and upload all these meetings on YouTube. We also minute the meeting minutes on a public-facing website. So you can actually follow along on this one. If you want to see what has happened in the last 5 weeks, for example, you can actually go and catch up on that as well. Anmol, can we actually, are you able to actually show on the browser the old site and the new site? Hopefully we don't
Sure.
stop the recording. Are you able to show the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the standard website that we get from OWASP, right? It's very rudimentary. It's not like a modern way of looking at it. And the intent for the content workstream is modernize this particular project itself, right? So currently the layout that we have, you have main, guidance, roadmap, and different other aspect, right? And the intent for any modern website is need to have like resources, like information about the meetings, the guidance that is coming, information about the sponsorship itself, right? So since Sunday, me along with three other people on this call, we have been working with the company which does modernization for websites and the layout. So if you want to actually shift to the next tab. So this is like a brand new website out there. I mean, like it's not live yet. We have trying to move everything onto this new public-facing website itself. So in probably a week or maybe 2 weeks, we're going to transition completely off the old website to this one. And the information that you see here is like you have a landing page. There is a section about us, which is talking about how do you collaborate with the project, how do you join, information about different work stream, the leadership. The third tab that we have, the guidance, is the most important one, right? If you're coming to the website, where do you even like start, right? So it's going to be more of like, what is your step number one, step number two? It's going to be guidance that's going to be provided. And it might seem a little small right now or short, but I think in the next 2, maybe maximum 3 weeks, this would be very, very comprehensive based on the effort that's happening in different work streams. And the fourth tab is talking about the sponsorship. And again, any open source project definitely need some sort of sponsorship support, whether it's terms of money or resources. So there's going to focus on the sponsorship that I'm going to talk in maybe next 15 minutes. And the last one is the resources, your blogs, your podcast, and newsworthy articles and the events that are upcoming, right? So if you have like specific feedback on this new website, definitely let us know. You can actually reach out to Dharmesh, Anmol, or myself. Love to get your feedback on this, and it's going to be very important that we do it right. Okay, going back to the stuff, I'll give it over to Anmol and Dharmesh to talk, and Venkat on this one.
So I can take over, Arnish. So hi everyone, this is Venkata, and these are the updates for the prerequisite work stream. So where we are working on the format side of things. So last week we worked on identifying the gaps. So as we all know that the Cyclone DX 1.7 version that's released, so we tried to benchmark and do gap analysis, and we identified some gaps across different categories like dataset provenance and lineage, in model life cycle, risk and ethics, and in prompt engineering and agent-based components. So these are the different categories where we identified gaps with respect to Cyclone DX 1.7. So this week our focus is more on to focus on the dataset provenance and lineage standpoint. So the main gap that we identified is that Cyclone DX looks at dataset as an artifact, but what we identified is dataset is a process artifact. So we need to capture also the transformations. And so we identified few gaps with respect to versioning, quality metrics, and the licensing, right? So these are some aspects we'll be working on this week. And another thing, maybe Arunish, you can help us is we would like to know the roadmap of Cyclone DX 1.8. Maybe they have already factored in few other schema that they can have in place already. So if we get to know that, maybe we can work together on that. So this is one other support that we need. Anything else, Anmol or Dharmesh, do you guys want to add anything on top of this?
No, that pretty much sums it up. I think Karen has a question.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably imagine what my question is going to be. How can I get SPDX into this sort of analysis? I mean, there's a number of people from PDX on the call right now. We would love to do a gap analysis as compared to your categories, if that makes any sense. Because we have a version coming out 3.1, you know, in the near future, let's put it. We don't have an exact date yet, but yeah. How do we get SPDX also alongside of you guys?
I think we would love to do that right now with the resources that we have. We focused on Cyclone DX, but we initially, like few weeks before, we looked into SPDX, and I think SPDX is more so flexible with respect to the relationships that already exist right now. So we would really love to do that gap analysis also. And yeah, we can invite you to our work stream calls. You guys can participate and contribute to that. Thank you
Okay,
for
great.
Karen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
I think
I
Karen,
will add you to the workstream calls, a workstream Slack channel today, and then we can schedule a call this week.
Karen, actually, it's an important question that you asked. I think if you go to the next work stream, which is related to formats, I think there is like a focus on making the initiative or whatever you're doing very, very comprehensive and flexible. Like some organization might want to actually go to SPDX. So that's why I'll like bring in more people who can actually contribute to the project. So it's comprehensive. Dharmesh, do you want to add a little more color before we
Yeah,
move to the
I was
formats?
just adding to this. Yeah, exactly. So I was just going to add to that. And thanks, Karen, for bringing that up. In fact, while I was running the formats work stream, right, that definitely that analysis was inclusive of the SPDX one as well. The prerequisites is something the folks probably joined a little bit new, and their first initial focus was on Cyclone DX, but yes, SPDX is definitely on the cards. In fact, I have had some working relationship with SPDX 3.0 as well, and some of my enterprise organizations were planning to, adapt to that and use that in some shape or form. So definitely, SPDX is something that we would love to, include as a part of the gap analysis and see where we can have the synergies together. So we'd love to have you on board in these work streams, right? So that we can learn from you as well.
Yeah, great. I mean, we'll be on board. Art posted, we did a gap analysis of SPDX for the Tiger team, and he posted the link if that's of any use in starting, but we'll figure out who from SPDX can help you with resources in this area. So you don't have to do it all.
And I think one other thing that I would request, Karen, I know we spoke earlier last week, if you can get like few folks from SPDX who can join this particular call, and again, like Venkata, to your point, I'm kind of like closely associated with the Cyclone DX team itself, including Steve Springett.
Yeah.
So we'll get like few folks who are working on that aspect into these calls, or at least from a work stream perspective. So I'll
Now,
make the introduction.
you actually have 4 people from SPDX that I can flag just now. So you're starting to see, you're gaining interest from the SPDX developers. So more and more
Awesome.
people are going to start joining.
Awesome. I see, Raymond, you have your hand up.
Yes, actually. So, a couple of points I wanted to raise. The first one is, and people who know me know I keep banging this drum. I'm aware that the Tiger team, SPDX, and Cyclone DX all use slightly different definitions for certain terms. So if you're doing this gap analysis and these comparisons, I recommend this might also be a good opportunity to identify where these definitions are slightly different and at least document this. And I mean, I'm happy to help. I have a bit of a bandwidth issue, but I'm happy to help if I can. And I guess the second one will probably become clear. But of course, I think the SPDX side is also still in a little bit of flux right now. So maybe there's some opportunity for some back and forth there as well. But I think maybe I should really let Karen take the lead on that bit.
No, I'm flexible all the way. If you've got gaps, I'll fill them.
Right. It's more a case of is that SPDX 3.1. Like I think we're still. What's the timeline to getting that nailed down? Because if the gap analysis shows something, there's still some opportunity to respond, right?
Yeah, we're only going into first candidate. So the only thing that has to be firm, like in the next week or two, is what we call a core profile. So it's the basis of all those terms, et cetera, et cetera. So that's
right.
Then the rest of the stuff can flow in when it's ready.
Right. So maybe some of the OWASP folks here who are working on this could also join the SPDX call as well and get some cross-pollination going back the other way.
I think we have at least like 3 folks who are already lined up for this one. I attended one of those, but I think Dharmesh and Mol and probably UV would also join. And again, other folks are equally welcome, right?
Perfect. Yes. Yep.
And again, another thing before we move to the next one is it's more of a bi-directional collaboration, right? It's not just like we are accepting the stuff, but also like providing feedback to the project, whether it's Cyclone DX or SPDX or any other work stream, which is working on a different area.
Exactly.
Perfect. I'm glad to have you, Raymond. I mean, like it's you speak your mind. So
I'll keep opening my mouth as long as people don't kick me out.
Okay, let's move to the next one.
Yeah. So so on this one, specifically, not much significant update. It's predominantly the similar gap analysis. However, would depend more on the prerequisite stuff right now, since there is a known synergy with the work stream. So this was a little bit on the back foot, to be honest.
I think it's kind of understandable, right? I think we need to ensure the prerequisite and the requirement is like laid out and we fully understand before we start dealing with this, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. So the outcome of that would be specifically the work that we do in formats.
Okay. So moving on for the tooling workstream, I know UV is not in today. He's in Munich. Anybody else who was partaking in this particular effort along with UV?
I'll fill in for UV. I had a connect, but I don't think we have an updates on tooling, but we do have updates on the other one, the foundational best practices.
Okay. So maybe we can actually cover the foundation best practices for this week.
Yeah, so we are progressing well in terms of the foundation best practice document. If you do not have access, then let us know. We can share the doc. But the next steps for that is to get a draft out soon. It's shaping up well, so a couple more sections to fill in, I think the draft will be ready for review. And then we also have to coordinate with other work streams that Dharmesh is leading to make sure we are kind of aligned and not deviating. Those are the main key steps for next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So for the content, as you already saw, we have a draft of the website ready, and the other website, which was uh, provided by OWASP, that was also updated. Um, Apart from that, the YouTube, we have also generated a few YouTube shorts based on our previous calls. Those will start rolling out soon. And yeah, apart from that, we are also working on the template for a common template for documentation, since we are going to soon release foundational best practices. So that common template will be for all the documentations we release in coming weeks and months.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think the content piece we already saw in the shape and form of the website that is being published. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any thoughts on that, please feel free to add in.
And I think based on the timeline for the propagation, right now, if you search OWASP AIBOM, it's going to the OWASP website. Based on the conversation with the design company, it's probably going to be getting redirected in the next 1.5 to 2 weeks, right? So the expectation is to make the announce the public-facing website end of day today, so that the community can actually start using the new one. We'll have like a redirection from the old site to the new one, but for one-click access is going to happen in a week or 1.5 weeks, right? So definitely, if you have inputs and feedback on the website itself, we'll actually share the link on the Slack community channel. So definitely give that to Anmol, Dharmesh, and other folks on this one, right? So pretty excited that we are actually making traction and headway into this. Let's actually cover the foundational best practices first.
Yeah, that's already been covered earlier.
Yeah. So just one question, Sai, exactly on this, right? From a project direction and this work stream, do you think it's trending in the right direction? We can make some good timelines on this.
Yeah, I would say so. We should have the draft ready in 2 weeks, like I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, this is trending in the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
think like in the guidance section that we are putting together in the new website, right? I think we should actually try to see if we can actually merge this particular document or subsection from that document into the public-facing website somehow.
Mhm. So on that note, maybe I missed I missed previous one. Are we trying to present our content as the pages or as a document eventually?
I mean, I would say it needs to be both, right? So there is a working document, people can actually review it, but a summary of that one can go into the public-facing website itself, right? Because essentially you're providing the guidance to enterprises and organization to kind of get their head around how do you actually consume the AI bomb, right? How do you operationalize it? So I would say like it's kind of a combination of both.
So maybe
One
like
would
rephrase. Standard OWASP, the websites, they give you downloadable PDF documents. Remember, I'm trying to hint towards: are we presenting a PDF downloadable documents or both?
It's going to
Or
be both. It's going
okay,
to be both. I mean,
okay,
like if you look at how the Gen AI project manages it, right? So there is a public stuff, but there is also a PDF which is available in English and maybe 6 other languages, right? So
all right.
exactly the same intent. How do you actually ensure like more and more people can consume this information across the globe?
Mhm.
And just one thought on that, like Arunesh and Sai, I believe while you are, head started on the foundational document, I think we should once regroup this week or probably next week, depending on bandwidth, with the pre-rec team, so that the core messaging of the whole project goes in the right direction. So that if there are gaps in either of them, right, we kind of learn from each other.
Great.
Agreed.
And I
Yeah.
think just
Agree.
and I think just one more point on this one. So every work stream that we have their specific Slack channel, right? So if you want to actually get associated, you should send a message on the community channel, and somebody who's the work stream lead for that particular work stream can add you. And I think it needs to be more of a collaborative effort, right? Just because somebody is like a work stream doesn't mean like it stays with that person, right? You are more than welcome to actually join and provide inputs. And even if you're working on, say, policy, doesn't mean you cannot contribute to other work streams. I'll take
Yeah,
a pause here, and I know like there are a few folks who are new on this one. I want to actually solicit their input on this one, what they have heard, things thus far. I think I'll probably start with maybe Gopi. You're attending the call for the very first time.
Yeah, I see a lot of good things going on. I was interested very much on the first work stream, the related to data, and I would join and contribute. On the overall picture of the looking at AI bomb, how we discover, how we structure, how we align with the industry along with any inventory, um, whether it's a software bomb or any inventory that needs to be maintained and updated by the enterprise organizations from the risk point of view, vulnerability point of view, from transparency point of view. I see this a bigger picture. Uh, so that's my comment. So
Yeah, I think Gopi, I think like I said, you can join all 10 work streams, right, based on your bandwidth itself, and help drive the direction for those work streams and essentially the whole project itself.
sure.
Karen, I'll probably ask you to actually give your impressions on what you see thus far, any inputs and feedback.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's looking like it's taking shape, which is great to see. My only thing is, especially with the best practices, I'm looking forward to reading them because there's a couple of things that are underway. In the Linux Foundation group, there's a group called Open Chain, which you probably are aware of, or maybe you aren't, but they're doing a similar exercise. So it would be good to sort of merge or have at least both sides providing input on the document. And then the second thing is I am very actively involved in ISO's, what they call Developers Handbook for 42001, which is the AI system management. And again, I'm just like out of curiosity to see what we've been talking about versus what you guys have been talking about and being able to share with you. Similar to you said with Gopi, I think I'm going to probably invite myself to as many of these working groups as possible because, you know, I can point you at different groups that are doing similar work and maybe we can get them more harmonized. So looking forward.
And in fact, you talked about Linux Foundation. I just was on the call with Linux Foundation an hour ago.
Okay.
With Vishal and Anka and a bunch of other folks in that. So we are looking to align them much more closely as we go along.
That's great. And Art also posted already. Art's great at this. He'll give you all the links that you need about the open chain and where we can go. They have a number. Unfortunately, they're more friendly to the Far East time zone. So they sometimes have to get up a little bit early here in the Eastern or Pacific time zones. Anyway, look forward to collaborating on this.
Thank you, Karen. I see there are two hands up. I know, Abhinav, you had your hand up before Raymond, so.
Yeah, Arnish, I wanted to know like if whether or not if we are joining the work group or not, if there are like central locations for all the working groups, if the links could be shared, then so that suppose if I'm working on in one group and I'm not able to join the meeting, other working group, at least I could go and review the document and see to make sure that the group which I'm in, the documents are aligned, right, or the content is aligned throughout the working groups.
So I think we have like a centralized Google Doc, which is talking about all the different work streams, the meeting minutes for the project as well as for the work streams. And there
Yeah.
is like a Slack channel, so you can actually find the updates on that one. Maybe Dharmesh, as part of the prerequisite, do you want to talk a little more on Abhinav's question? Or maybe Anmol, do you want to actually just give your
Yeah,
view on this?
yeah, sure. I think Abhinav, we have something in place. We haven't, so we have a Google Drive as well, where we have a folder
Yeah.
for each work stream. What we'll do is I'll work on it this week, and before our next call, uh, I request I'll share it with all the work streams, and they can update their working or latest document there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
everybody can
Yeah.
just have a look and give their opinions. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what my recommendation was. I did this in IEEE group. So we had
yeah,
like
yeah,
few working groups. So we had a drive location where you open that and then you have every working group folder, and then each team is working what they want, right? Because
yeah, yeah.
there's quite possibility that everyone won't be able to join the every call, but at least if they are able to look at it, they make sure that it's aligned, the content and the message is aligned throughout the groups.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I totally agree with you. So yeah, I'll share that before our next call, and before that, I'll share it with the work stream groups. Okay. Yeah.
So let me just ask one question. Sorry, Raymond, just it's more operational question. So for all the work streams, when we meet, are we publishing the meeting minutes for those work streams as well? Or it's more of updates in a document?
It's more of updates in the document rather than a minutes of meeting, at least for prerequisites.
I think one thing that I would say, I think meeting minutes might be a little too heavy, but in terms of the action items, maybe we can actually say, okay, what are the action beforehand that we do it in this call as well, right? What you finished and what's upcoming, right?
Mm. Sure.
Okay, Raymond, you have your hand up. Sorry, I kept you waiting.
No, you're right. You're right. So actually, a couple of things. The first one is, so it wasn't quite clear to me. Do we just like post in Project AIBOM community, hey, please add me to all the work streams, and then someone does it, or what? What's the actual process there?
You can do that, or if you just a second.
Because I'm having a little trouble finding the source of truth for what all the work
Yeah,
streams are and
yeah,
who's where.
definitely. Yeah, we updated that this week. It's there in the.
Yeah, so while the site is still like kind of in works, right? What we will additionally do, probably Anmol and Arunesh, is that our core Slack channel, right? We'll just add it in the descriptions as well, so that people are aware what do those work streams mean, and where they can join them as well, or probably even who are the leads who they can connect with. It will be more
Yeah,
structured way to find the information centrally on Slack as well, because people will be joining there.
yeah, definitely. We sort of already have done it, and it's in place. So if you go to the current OWASP AIBOM project page and go to work stream, uh,
Right.
you'll see the actual channel name where you can join the work stream. So if you just join this, so you should be able to join on your own. If you're not able to join, just mention it in the AIBOM main Slack channel, and I'll add you to it.
Okay. I just tried, and I think it just kicked me back out to community. So that's why I was trying to figure out.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, I'll have a look at it. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise,
Oh, I'm trying again right now. Just yes, it's kicking me back out to community. It's not
okay.
actually letting me join the work
So I
stream
think it's
thing.
currently, I think it's logged. So one of the work stream leads has to add you to it. So yeah, so for now, what everybody could do is like you can just mention in the main Slack channel which work stream would you like to join, and we'll add you to it.
Okay. So the other question I had was, I guess if you know, I fully understand the whole, full steam ahead and we need to be quick about this, but I'm wondering whether you have visibility into a bunch of the other stuff that is happening. So, for instance, there's the trustable AI bomb. I think they're quite particular about that. Trustable AI Bill of Materials project, nominally based out of the UK, but they're everywhere as well. Also, when you're talking about best practice stuff, SPDX has stuff as well that might not be anchored on their AI and datasets group. I think, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of that's actually anchored in the hardware group, right? But there's stuff that's still relevant. Is that correct, Karen?
No, it's actually, the best practice activities are anchored from OpenSSF, which is a project, or OpenChain. What's anchored in the hardware group is use cases that tie you to something like the CRA.
Gotcha. Okay. It's more a case of just making sure that you folks have visibility across all of those as well, because there's a lot of work that could be built on there as well. And that's right. TIBOM, was noted last meeting, so that's good.
Anmol, can you go to the slide for the collaboration and alliances? Let me just take a stab at this. So go to the next one. I think it talks about the collaborate. Maybe the next one. I'm not sure if we had that slide. Okay, so Raymond, I think to your question, right? So the way we are looking to actually execute on this particular project is threefold, right? One is the industry partnerships and the academic collaboration. The third one, what you're talking about, are we aware? Are we like syncing up on this? The third one is around this cross-sector and the cross-foundation collaboration and engagement, right? That's why the engagement with SPDX, that's the engagement with Linux Foundation. And you can actually feed us into what other things exist out there. I mean, like, I might not be aware of every possible good work that's happening, but I think bringing all these things together is an important aspect.
Sounds good. Is there a central source of truth, a minutes or something that sort of has a list of who you're already working with, just so we're not going to be too redundant about bringing things up that you already know about?
There is a central place where we are like putting all this together. But again, since this is like a fairly new project, I'm like trying to actually get all those pieces together in a more collaborative fashion. So probably by end of today, I should have information on this also listed on the public website and also in the Google Doc.
Sounds good, yeah. Because I'm thinking back to your timeline, which is very ambitious. You're pushing something out at the end of this month, for instance. So,
Yeah, I think that particular timeline, like I said in the previous call, I think those are a timeline that I had to myself. But I think my timelines are a lot more aggressive than usual. But those timelines might shift by a month maximum. But I don't expect it to actually shift it a lot more than that.
Yeah, no, it's nothing wrong with being ambitious. I like it.
But keep these like inputs and the direct feedback coming in, right? I truly appreciate this one, right? Because I might think something differently, other might be think differently, but the practical stuff might be slightly different. So it's important to hear back from everyone.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's do from a sponsorship perspective, we have like two organizations or two companies which are like already out. Confirmed, just waiting for the legal paperwork to be completed before I can actually share the name of these companies. And there are like few companies which are in the Fortune 500, Fortune 1000. They're also looking to come in. I'll share more and more details on this one. But again, for people who are watching this call on YouTube or anybody who's on the call right now, if you are an AI vendor or if you know of an AI vendor which has something to do with AI bomb, definitely connect them to me. I'd love to actually take them through the journey, how they can actually realize the ROI. And the intent is to aim for like a 50K for the sponsorship for end of the year. I think we'll easily surpass that 50K, and trying to actually build more and more cadence on this for 2026. And again, there are two sponsorship level. There is a silver sponsor for a 10,000, and 20,000 and over would get you like a gold sponsor. And I think in the next 3 months or so, we also would have like a platinum sponsorship. Again, I just want to ensure like we are meeting our goals before we go crazy on this. Call to action itself. I think for a volunteer for website development hosting, I think this is more or less done with the company that we actually brought in. This is trending in the right direction. And I believe, I'm not sure who actually asked this question, I'm forgetting, was how I think it was Sai, it was you, right, who was asking about, do we actually give like a PDF and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was Sai.
I think he's probably dropped off. Okay. So I think there's one particular volunteer position that we have to help with the language translation. Right now, everything that we're going to be start creating is only going to be in English, but there's going to be merit for ensuring those are presented in Chinese and other languages, so that the project has a global adoption. So if you or anybody that you know wants to actually come up to speed on this one, definitely connect them to us. I know we have like 10 minutes left. Actually, we didn't cover the policy. Can we just go back 3 or 4 slides? So for a policy perspective, I know we had one particular lead that we had identified. I think she was from Cisco. I'm not sure where she is, but there is a progress that's happening from a policy perspective. And I think Gopi, if I were to actually recommend, you should actually join this particular work stream.
Sure.
Because I mean, like for the workshop that we did, I mean, like you have like a good grasp of what's happening at the policy level. So me and you can actually work closely on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically from a policy perspective, it's not just tracking the policy, but it's important to have like a global pulse, what's happening out there, and also doing an outreach to policy makers and regulators itself, right? Not being on the receiving end, but more of like collaborating with them as things are happening. So I'll definitely add you to that work stream Slack channel and give you access to all the documentation that you're working on.
Thank you.
I think that's it from a deck perspective, right? So I want to open it to the floor for questions, feedback that you might have. Yes, Raymond. Yes, please.
So I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so there might be some good reasons for this. But of course, in this journey, I started out with the DHS CIS Tiger team. And as I was in there, all the minutes were available going all the way back, all the documents were just public, and it was sort of very easy to catch up on and see what was going on in the background. And then I got Victor dragged me into SPDX, and again, there was a lot of stuff to catch up on, but there was a lot of stuff there in terms of what had been discussed in the minutes and all that. I'm just wondering though, for OWASP, it seems to me that even where I'm now been to a few of these meetings, it's very hard to understand what's been going on. It was, there was a gate to get in, and then I guess there's additional gates to figure out what each work stream is doing. I'm just curious, is there a particular reason for doing this, as opposed to just having everything at least world readable? Is there anything, are there some sort of sensitivities that we need to be aware of as we're sort of moving through this, or is that just the way things have been operating?
Let me actually paraphrase. Is your question from the way the Slack channel, there is like a private Slack channels for different work streams, or
So the Slack
it's more
channel
of
being private, I kind of understand because you don't want people, going in there and, spamming and all that. But for instance, the the minutes of all the meetings for SPDX and for the Tiger team are both completely open. Anyone can go in and read them. All of the draft documents are linked from there. They're all world readable. It's very easy I'm just thinking in terms of I'm talking to people and encouraging them to join, and they might want to just have a look and see what's been going on, see the activity before committing to filling out the Google form or whatever the case may be. And it seems it's very hard to say, hey, look, this, OWASP are doing great stuff. Here is the latest thing that they're doing, and point them to a specific document or a specific piece of a document and go, hey, you need to be interested in part of this. So, like I still haven't been able to see any minutes from any of these meetings. I haven't been able to see any drafts of anything that any of the work streams are doing. And that just strikes me as just a little bit different to what I've seen elsewise. Again, not
so
a
okay.
criticism, it's an observation, and there might be some good reasons for this. I'm just curious though.
Yeah, I mean, like I wish I had access to like a WordPress. This would have been addressed on day one itself.
Ah,
So again, like it's fairly new, but I think we are
okay.
tackling as you remember, like the last call that you had like 3 inputs, and we kind of squared away most of
Yeah.
them the very next day.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, and
I
you were
committed.
remarkably responsive. I was very impressed when you added all that stuff to the website. So, yeah.
So I think like to your question, and I think there is another feedback that we received. So from a meeting minutes, today is 11th. By the 13th, that should all be there. Like making sure like the meeting minutes are publicly available right now. Those are kind of embedded into a Google Doc. That's like a cheap man solution when you start anything open source. But on the 13th, we should ensure like all the meeting minutes for the 6 call that we had thus far are all there. It's actionable. People can actually consume all that information. And there is another feedback I'm forgetting that somebody had mentioned. I'm like skipping, but I'll need to actually look at the minutes. I committed for that particular thing for tomorrow, and the meeting minutes should be live on the public site by Thursday, if not tomorrow.
Yeah, but also with regard to the work streams, for instance, I'm reading the work streams now, but I've got no idea what stage anyone is at, apart from the ones that updated today, right? So
I think,
yeah.
like from a workstream perspective, I think all those updates and what's happening in that workstream is embedded into the Google Doc, right? And
Oh, okay.
maybe it's because you don't have the access to the Google Doc.
Right.
Anmol, can you actually send the Google Doc link on the community channel as well, so
Sure.
people actually trace back all the calls that we had thus far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Just again, not a criticism, just an observation.
No, Minik, I know you, Minik, you're not coming hard on us, right? It's actually important to have like collaboration with you, and I truly mean it. Karen, you have your hand up. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no problem. It was after Raymond, so I let him go. Two questions, actually. One is, will there be a work stream to do with vulnerabilities and threats under this umbrella, or is it another project?
Actually, I'm glad you asked. I think somebody who had joined the call and I talked about the threat intel side of things. I think it was a new member. I'm forgetting. I think it's Buckle. That's why I was asking. So while I was talking on this one, I was like we need to actually ensure there is a focused attention on this one also. So it's definitely going to be there.
Actually, Arish, thanks, and Karen for bringing it up. I had that question, but I was waiting for the last. Yeah, I did point out because that's one of the pain points live we experience in our company. And I was expecting if there's something on that work stream. I'm still catching up because this is the first day, and I would like to be part of some of the work streams, I think, which would help. But yeah, to your point, and Aranish, as you were speaking, if there's, I don't know if there would be a work stream for vulnerability and threats.
Yeah, there is, and in fact, like I know you both asked. I would love for one of you or both of you to lead that particular initiative if you have the bandwidth. Otherwise, I'll try to find somebody who can.
Yeah,
I
maybe we can
think-
see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Karen okay, I'm happy to volunteer for that.
Okay.
We'll talk. The second one
Yeah.
is, that's great that you're getting some donations in. Do you know sort of where they will be applied? Are they to go on outreach things to get people to know about this group in conferences, hiring volunteers? Do we know how?
I'll give you some. Yeah, I mean, so on the public website, we have like a sponsorship deck, which has pretty much every information that you're looking for. So there are like 2 tiers of sponsorship, silver and gold, and where it actually goes towards. It is not for hiring volunteers. I think under OWASP, at least from the project I'm responsible for, we are not allowed to actually pay people as volunteer hours. But where the money is going towards is the operational aspect, like whether it's we are building like a website or doing a promotion, or I might have some stickers that let me actually show something on this, right? So we have stickers for AI Exchange and for AI Bomb. And the other aspect is ensuring people who are contributing to this particular project, and if we want them to actually go and present at different conferences, we can actually cover the TNE. Like it's pretty transparent, and it's all going towards to ensure like there is visibility for the project at multiple areas, multiple regions.
Okay.
And again, everything that I'm talking about is there on the public side.
Okay.
There is a slide deck for that.
It sort of leads to my next question. Where are the hit lists of conferences you're planning on attending next?
In fact, like I actually maintain like a comprehensive list of all conferences for 2025, 2026 in AI Exchange. And there's no point of reinventing. So I'll probably have the same list that can be shared in this group also. We have around like 27, 28 different conferences which are upcoming. And again, that list is keep on growing because there are a lot of local conferences also happening in Asia Pacific, in Europe. And it's more of a collaborative effort, right? It's not like I or like few other people are aware of every single thing, right? If you come across a meaningful conference which is reputable, we'll definitely make sure we are presenting there or talking or attending that.
I mean, one of the things we could do is if you share the list, there's a lot of Linux AI related conferences. And in fact, there's one called FOSDEN coming up in February of next year. And they're looking for talks right now. So it would be great to get this on the agenda.
Actually, I remember, I think there is a few folks from the Los Angeles chapter in OWASP. They are actually looking to actually present, but I think this might be there on our list of conference which we are tracking. But good point. And I know, John, you actually had your hand up once. Maybe I'm mistaken, but you have any inputs?
I really like the call out of syncing up the language, specifically for agentic. We're rapidly developing language, so seeing what industry, what other communities, maybe tapping some of the corporate partners and seeing if we're in alignment, if there's any gaps. Maybe we have something they don't have, vice versa. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Are you saying that the language translation effort you can actually lead for us?
Oh, I mean, like in agentic, like RAG or like just we're in agentic land, we're developing a lot of new words, and like maybe their community, maybe community X and community Y have developed different words for MCP root nodes
Oh,
or
okay.
model cards.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Actually, on that note, actually more broadly, so crosswalking the different standards and different communities might be a good task here as well, right? John, that's what you're talking about, right? Crosswalking between the different organizations' use of the terms.
Yeah, and taking that sample early and Yeah, and maybe we find a gap. They might have something we don't even have a concept for. Yeah, the space is evolving rapidly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always a big fan of making sure there's a glossary for each of these efforts because there are good reasons to have different definitions in different groups, right? Because they use them in different contexts. But something like OWASP spans a bunch of them. So Karen can attest to on the SPDX side, we've spent the last how many weeks coming up with our definition for prompt and for context?
We're going to be the first.
We're going to be the first. And I mean, it sounds like an obvious term. Everyone knows what it is. But when you actually talk about it, about the boundaries and the nuances, that's where people start to disagree. But the thing is, for something like SBOM, where you actually have, where the nuance of the definition translates into actionable scope differences, that actually does matter. So that's why we're spending so much time on it. And that might be something that OWASP also wants to pay some attention to.
So Raymond and
Yeah.
John, I think like maybe let me actually ask your feedback on this. If we were to try to address that particular thing, let's say glossary of all the terminology itself, and talk about what we think it should be, and also give like a reference to the definition from other foundations. So if I'm like an enterprise, I can actually go there and like really understand what is OWASP viewers and what is the worldview, right? What others are talking about.
Yeah.
Is that something?
So it's kind of what I've been doing over on the OWASP side of the house, right? Is that we say, okay, here's what the dictionary says. Here's what Anthropic says. Here is what OpenAI says. Here is what NIST says. And by the way, so Victor's made the comment that I work for NIST. That's only partially true, but I am affiliated with NIST. And of course, if you go into the NIST glossary for some of these terms, there's 10 different definitions because there's 10 different contexts that NIST is operating in, and they require slightly different definitions. But I think the important bit is to have that glossary and to have that discussion about, well, here are all the different definitions. Here is the definition we are using, and here is why we are using it in this way. I think that's an important document that a lot of groups don't tend to put out there, at least outside of the standards community. So we might want to consider sort of putting a bit of attention to that. It might be worth its own work stream. I don't know. But yeah, especially across all these things. And I guess John, you're also across the cybersecurity side, right? So there's a whole another set of vernacular over there that doesn't necessarily match up with the AI community, right?
Mm-hmm. And we have a kind of over in Cyclone DX, there's the effort to build kind of a common language for security items. And so that's also a good root definition that could loop in well. And of course, agentic. Yeah.
And I think like
Raymond,
yeah, go ahead, Anmol. I think you probably read my mind.
Yeah, Raymond, I think we have been discussing this, and I'd like you to invite you to join the prerequisites work stream actually. So we have been discussing on coming up with definitions ourselves. So I think we can instead of creating a separate one, we can just have it as part of that because it will anyway feed into the formats work stream. Yeah. Let's discuss more on this in the specific work stream call. But yeah, thanks for pointing it out.
That sounds great. And that also speaks to the reason why I wonder whether the documentation might need to be a little more public, because I've been scanning the work streams for the last week and I can't figure out where definitions fits, right? And the prerequisites wasn't on the list that I would have assumed. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
I think it could be something that can be delivered collaboratively between the prerequisites and also the content group itself, right?
Yeah.
Having a strategy on this one and ensuring we can actually give like a guidance on this. And my view is like not give like a definition on every single thing under the world, under the sun itself, but look at like more of the like important ones. Let's say there are like 20 different things that are relevant for AI bomb. So we address those things. And if anything else becomes an important, we address that one also.
And actually, I'd modify that a little bit and say the terms that often get defined differently in different places, we'd also want to define because that can cause confusion. And Victor, who's at a conference and so can't be on voice, mentions that MITRE is also a main contributor to the SPDX, and MITRE also has a whole bunch of good definitions as well that we can draw on. Do we have anyone from MITRE as part of these calls? I don't. I'm brain glitching here.
Do you, if you are aware of anybody that you have close relations, I mean, I definitely ask them to actually join, but I'll try to actually get somebody from that organization also to join.
Because Karen, I think you know the MITRE SPDX tie-in way better than I do. I mean, are there particular folks who might be worth pulling across who would have the bandwidth?
I can ask, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this is the intent for the collaboration and alliances workstream to ensure we actually tap in more and more organizations.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, sorry, we are like 8 minutes over. I didn't intend to actually bring it beyond like 1 hour, but thank you everyone for the call today. Really appreciate, and definitely a couple of things. Look at the website, give the feedback, and we have like 2 action items squared away for ourselves, which should be action in next 1.5 days. But keep pressing on this and ensuring we can actually deliver towards the timelines.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.